This is CBT News, West Midlands, coming to you live with a news bulletin of all your tabletop needs from Byzantian brewscast. Today's top stories.
That's about right.
Our correspondent goes to the UK Game Expo, and I really want to get Gundams again. Apparently it's a Gundam board game, which I'm really interested in. Anyway, yes. Welcome, if you are German. And hello. It's Chaotic Jexak and Byzantiadev here to assault your ears with more...
I'm Byzantiadev.
I think something just fell. Oh, it's just me dice, okay. So, how have we been this week?
As opposed to all, it's been a busy week, especially a busy weekend. Game Expo was a bit amazing. Really fun time. So many places to get dice from. And I did this twice.
His shiny math rock.
So I bought 4 fake gold dice because they were 50p each.
Nice.
Just want to use the character creation, just some like very silly. Oh, I found like it's about a D20 about the size of my palm, and it was a fiver, so I nicked it. I won it.
Big dice.
So I bought that for a fiver, so I'm very happy with that.
Nice.
And too much on some the old Talon Desert Raiders. They came pre-painted, so that was thing off the bucket list.
Nice.
And I think I've put the pictures up. I got pictures from 2 of 3 meet and greets with No Rolls Barred.
Yes,
I
thought it was
they were there doing a thing.
amazing. The Communopoly
they missed them last year because they didn't realise they were doing it from like a. Apparently, there's no official rule set. I did ask. I did ask when I was there, the panel. They seem like nice folks, professionals, but they seem like they care enough if they have a big queue of people to, hear aspirations from and stuff like that.
They are indeed human.
It's a really good time.
See,
Gundam. Oh yes, the Gundam. The new TCG coming out, which.
Well, it's out, isn't it?
The demo deck, which is
because my friend's got like a deck or something.
Well, I have to be careful with this because it does say you.
Huh?
Because it does say it's an official tournament, so it's a sample deck.
Oh, it's a sample. I see. But
aside from that,
yeah, I really want to build into a little bit of Gundam TCG, but I don't want to spend too much money because. I just want it just so I can build like a funny Torgeist deck from like Gundam Wing because yes, it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be funny. But I heard there's something like either a board game to do with it or possibly the card game where you build like a tiny gunpla or something, and I thought yes. I don't know if that was at the Expo or.
That's about right.
Yeah.
It is a tabletop game coming out in July, they said.
And
it's really good quality stuff. Yeah, so it's got like a Warhammer like quality plastic.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving out free Zakus on the day as well. You could paint them a bit, but if you don't, you just assemble and leave at the table. It's really good quality plastic. It's about what 40. I want to say. 40-50 millimeters tall.
Mm-hmm.
Assembly is really easy. You just clip the bits, maybe file some of it off, and you just all the bits slot in.
Nice.
No glue, no like practical rocks or people leaping off things or anything. You just slot the bits in. Even the base, it's great.
Awesome.
There was a choice of it was all Zaku's all the way down, but there was the one with the Heat Hawk, the bazooka, and the one I went with was the standard Zaku or the Shah Zaku with the big old machine gun.
Ah, yes.
for free stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff is really, really solid. I just recommend. Yeah, I had a great time down there. Picked up a few business cards. Quite a lot of small publishers want to have like. There was one that does had like an official unironic zine or like fan magazine, and it's just a monster manual with horror stuff in it. So I
Ooh.
asked them to I don't know, maybe they pay commission or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, just fun all the way, fun all the way around. I would do it again. Um, we also got like a few like good lucks for the run I did today, which is very
Oh,
cool.
lovely stuff.
So that was most of my day. I have slept midday today because I've done 8.5 miles dressed as Evie, which was fun. By the end, anyway.
Hmm.
Fun run is a lie. It's not actually a fun run, but it is when you get to the end of it. Quite colourful cast of characters this time, because there was a guy dressed as Freddie Mercury from the "I Want to Break Free" video doing it.
Oh no.
A couple of people went to Wallace. A couple of people did the whole run as Wallace and Gromit, which is
That's
very impressive.
amazing.
I couldn't quite catch up to them because like halfway round and I'm starting to flag a bit. I was
Yeah.
sort of using them as something to focus on because they were a little bit hard to ignore even at distance.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, everyone was out in force. It was quite a good day. Weather was a bit all over the place, but it didn't rain at least until it was done with the race. So that
Yeah.
was nice of it. Uh, and I had to fall into a pub to
Fall.
avoid the rain a bit.
Just fall into a pub.
Celebratory pint and oh no, not literally. It didn't. I didn't like plan on having the second pint because I had one at an open bar. The queue wasn't 15 minutes long.
Hmm.
Um, and I found the second one just because it was rained for about 10 minutes and didn't want to get the suit wet because it cost a lot back in the day. So don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Um, funny story that before I actually started the race, is one of the other people running it for the Birmingham Hospice was wondering where to get the like safety pins for the bib number,
Ah.
and apparently it was by the church. I was just minding my business, and one of the guys from church asked about the suit. A lot of people asked about the suit.
Uh-huh.
He said, "Oh, can I just casually pray for you? Just kind of want to." I said, "Okay, sure."
Uh-huh.
So I might have done it with a bit of divine intervention today. So that was
Ayo, nice.
not in the plan, but yeah, it was really good. Really, I've had a lot of support going around
Uh-huh.
because
You want to be
I'm glad
careful
I
with
bought
that
this
though.
team because
Being preyed upon in that outfit because you might evolve into Paladinion. Pokemon's just adding new
I have the
types these
weirdest
days.
paladin ever.
Yeah, just a paladin. Yeah, Pokemon's adding the light type now? Question mark.
Yeah. Um, yes, it was very, really fun going around because when there were people and supporters there were kids that were like 5 that knew what it was, and people our age that also knew what it was.
Hmm. That,
So lots. If even if they don't get an amazing amount of money fundraised, at least a lot of people know what I ran it for.
yes.
So lots of eyes on the hospice today. So that's
Hmm.
a job well done. So I need to sleep very, very well when I do eventually decide to knock off.
I can
Um,
imagine.
that's been my weekend anyway.
Yeah, so my weekend has been quite slow and calm, and I haven't really done a whole lot. Um, I've just been doing more Forza Horizon 5 stuff. So the new series has started now. So a series is 4 weeks long, and it goes through all of the seasons. So you got the dry season, the wet season, the hot season, and the storm season. And we're currently in storm. So I'm carrying on the new series,
Hmm?
and yeah, it's Midnight Horizon has actually been quite a lot of fun because it reminds me a lot of. Do you remember Need for Speed Underground, the old one, the PS2?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I've been. I've been kind of reminded about that a lot recently, especially some of the like special event lab stuff where people have made like little city style urban races, and I found this. I think it's called the Nissan Pulsar or something, and I looked at it as like this. I took one look at it. This then thought this is something you would see in like New Speed Underground 1. So I did my own custom like paint job and livery on it to look with like those old like tribal looking stickers and things like that, and like the brand stickers, just making it look
Oh
as
yeah,
like not quite cursed, but as like early PS2 era racing game as possible. Just this is my Need for Speed Underground 2 car. And I'm gonna do the same with the Elise, because I remember in the Elise, I remember the one I had in Need for Speed Carbon, and that fucker went just super fast, so fast you couldn't actually see where you were going. So I want to do that again. But that's been my week so far, other than doing homebrewing stuff. And I was playing Magic on Friday, and I did a bit of trading and stuff. So hopefully my Caesar's Legion Soldier deck will be better now. And it actually did legitimately win a game on Friday, mostly because of a card called Odric, Master Tactician, that just says, "Oh, when you attack with so many creatures or whatever, Odric just says, okay, you get to choose what blocks, and so you can and how they block. So you could just go, hey opponent, I'm attacking you. Okay, move to blockers. No, no, you don't move to blockers because I'm not letting you block with anything. You just take the damage. Fuck you." I didn't realize that Odric could just be like, "Oh yeah, just my everything has unblockable now. That's fine."
that's fun.
So David was no, I don't think he was salty. I was like, "Wait a minute, it's just, oh yeah, I'm just gonna die, aren't I?" Like, "Yep, you should have just killed me. You should have just, because it's either me or you, man." But I had fun. I enjoyed it because it's not often that that deck wins because it's crazy slow compared to what it should be. I haven't got all the good soldier stuff in it yet, but it is a lot of fun to just throw soldiers at people and occasionally say Ave true to Kaiser, etc.
Okay.
So, that's been my week. Shall we move on to did you pick up any books? You picked up a book, didn't you? So we can move on to Tabletop Book Club.
I I had a thing. Yes. What was it? Oh, I think the let's have a think on it. Didn't really get any new books this week. Is kind of the thing.
Mm.
A lot of new stuff though.
Mm. You said something about a
So
zine.
think what?
Doesn't that count as a book?
No, no, didn't pick one up.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
there was like they're on site, and I
Uh,
bothered them because they seem because they do a lot of homebrew stuff and
makes sense.
horror stuff. That oh, it's like something I would like to if they pay for it potentially. Or not, I'll take some experience in the industry before I get my thing off the ground. No,
Ah.
that is a lie. That is a lie. I did download something new because I really had to check it out, and no one really. There's no books, ancient and sort of long lost.
Mm-hmm.
Um, found a PDF of the third edition Tyranid Codex for Warhammer 40k because I love the old codexes and just to see how the game's different, how it is now.
Uh-huh.
It's it's kind of wild because it's got all the usual stuff. The main thing is they every single unit can be customized with just certain weird abilities that unique to them, like flying or leaping. Or you can make every single unit kind of expensive if you want, just by adapting them into your own weird custom species, and every brood's like
Oh.
it pretty much, with like one exception. Ooh, sorry, that would be good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm still here. I am
That's
listening.
cool. Cool. Fair, fair. Yeah. So it's fun because I'm looking back. It's the era, the one I started on fourth.
Uh-huh.
There's stuff I can sort of get behind and recognize because it's all before you had to before everything was good. You didn't pay points for weapons and stuff. You have
Yeah.
to pay points for like everything in this edition, which I didn't mind because I got used to it. But I'm just it's funny seeing before this. It's like seeing the game before they standardized it. Yeah, the
Yes.
hit rolls are all the same, but the actual customizing is bonkers because every army and codex had its own weirdo rules to it. Just stuff you could do that other armies just did not get access to.
Uh-huh.
The terms you can just like you can just create your own hive fleet with. You could even limit what units you take and don't.
Ooh.
So you can really theme it and make. They function the same as the basic unit with a few add-ons,
Uh-huh.
effectively your own not quite species of Tyranid, which is really fun. And I kind of wish the new codes did this kind of like bespoke thing where every army had its own thing that isn't ultimately just a re-roll.
Yeah.
It's got its own kind of flavor to it, and it's completely free because Internet's probably forgotten it existed. So it's just a really fun idea. I quite like it. Um, yeah, I suppose book-wise, that's what I picked this week. What have you found?
So I've actually got a small thing, but I just kind of wanted to go over it. I'm not sure when this came out, but this is version 9.1 of the Yu-Gi-Oh rulebook. So this is an older version of the rulebook, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure. And so this is roughly when Shining Victories came out. So this is quite a while ago. It's a good few years ago now. But like, I love like the cards picked for various tutorial bits in the game. So, for example, the that's so the normal monster card that they picked is Wattel Dragon, which makes sense. I think they still use that to this day. But like you've got Pendulum, so you got XYZ monsters, and they talk about Utopia, and then Synchro monsters, where they
right.
talk about Junk Warrior and you know Junk Synchron.
The Stardust
Yeah, and the
Dragon and all that
trap
stuff.
card here is Shadow Spell,
Yeah.
which is like, and the one of the spells is Lightning
Oh,
Vortex they've chosen, and Trap Hole. It's like these cards are just not played anymore, really. Like they're all right, but they're just nowhere near.
yeah,
And I bet you there
I
isn't.
remember like most of those parts still. So yeah,
Yeah, I
it's a bit.
bet you there isn't. Yeah, I think because this was before they started putting in things like missing the timing and stuff. You know, those other roles that are
Yeah,
part of the game, but just that just kind of just get relegated to, oh yeah, that's, you know, check the wiki, this tells you how this works. Oh no, that's unfortunate, you missed the timing, you stupid bastard. But I just thought it was funny. I haven't actually read through the Yu-Gi-Oh rulebook in a
um,
long time, because you know it's like you read something, you know something well enough that you just kind of already know the rules, but it's just cool to see.
yeah, but I'm familiar.
Yeah, so got effective cards, equip cards, excavate. Oh yeah, excavate is actually something they actually talk about here, which is good because that was a new thing at the time, which is kind of like scrying, sort of. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was just a little small thing, you know, just a little trip down memory lane for me. Cards that are just
Does it
like,
mention?
oh, oh yeah, multiple piece
It
golem.
mentions Scrap Iron Scarecrow. To know that's one of
Mm.
the early
No, it doesn't. It's just
5Ds era
weird because
cards.
like that
Oh,
came out
wild.
after this book came before this book came out, but the one they picked was Shadow Spell and Trap Hole for traps, which is like okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess because
that's
Scrap Iron Scarecrow is a bit of a confusing card because you set it back face down again, which most of the trap cards don't do. So it in itself is an edge case. Anyway, I thought it was
fair.
cool. And yeah, I I do actually want to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh again, but I want to finish building my Pearly deck, and I want to build Live Twin, which is the VTuber deck. But getting a hold of cards is actually kind of annoying, specifically because it's like getting bulk Yu-Gi-Oh stuff isn't as easy as it used to be here in Birmingham because the main place that did Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk stuff has kind of just gone. I think they've got a temporary place in one of the arcades, but it's only temporary, and I think they got rid of a lot of their bulk card stock, which is annoying. But I want to build funny deck, but I can't, which is a shame. But yeah, that's my book of the week. So shall we move on to critically from Blee? We're gonna keep changing how I say that
yeah.
until it sticks.
I was trying to figure out what that was for a second. Yeah. I don't know if you've done this one twice. No, no, that's one twice in a row. So, Doctor Who is done
Oh
again.
yeah, it's done.
Shooty Gutler is he's out the role. Uh, it was the worst run I've ever seen it have, which is quite impressive.
Yeah,
But what the fail this bit, where they have potentially heavily implying that the next Doctor is going to be played by Billy Piper for some reason.
yeah, it's like,
Confusing.
huh?
If you didn't watch the reboot stuff about 2005, I think it was they rebooted it.
Hmm.
Billy Piper played like the first, like Rose, who was the first Doctor's first companion for that reboot ever.
Yeah.
She's been so I don't know how they're going to justify. Like, is this a different character or is this somehow Rose but not quite? Because it still looks like Billy Piper, so it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's what is going on kind of thing. It's not even like it's one of those like things like, oh, this is, if this wasn't so confusing, it might almost be exciting. If it weren't confusing as all fuck.
The same series where they brought back David Tennant and then didn't use him again for like
Yeah,
it's
it's
that I don't know. I think they're just bringing back old actors and characters now, just because
they can.
people remember them.
Yeah, they're kind of riding on
It's
nostalgia,
like they brought,
which they seem to be doing a lot lately. Because, oh, remember
oh
when
boy,
this? Sorry, most of the fans who
yeah,
quote unquote remember when this, they've left. They're gone.
yeah, like they. So I didn't catch the last two episodes. I caught the Eurovision style episode, just out of morbid curiosity.
Hmm.
Um, But no, the last two episodes, they brought back a villain called the Rani that I know very little about.
Yeah,
Apparently, it was a thing in the Tom Baker era,
yeah,
and Omega, who I don't have the first anything about, frankly. They bring back these villains from like 40 plus years ago, and they didn't do with any build up or anything, or it wasn't obvious that it was going to be that.
yeah,
And they after all this fanfare, but we brought back old thing. We brought back old thing that people said they want, but the people that said they wanted that aren't watching Doctor Who anymore, like you said. And they're rushing the job, so they've brought these two old school villains back, had them be a thing for 2 episodes, and then just defeated them again. So
yeah. It just
what's the point?
it screams of like desperation, of like, oh, our ratings are doing bad. Quick, throw one of the greats at them. It's like, you could have solved this by making one of the greats be, I don't know, the Cybermen, the Daleks. I'll even take the fucking Slitheen at this point.
That would actually be a step up, I think.
Like, how do you, how do
No,
you
it's weird.
somehow make villains and enemies that are just actually objectively worse than farting aliens? Like,
Yeah, I like that series a lot, but that was not one of the good episodes.
yeah, I'm
I
just.
can say that now inside.
Thanks,
So,
Russell T.
same
Doofus.
showrunner and writer, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, Russell T.
Same showrunner and
Doofus.
writer, by the way.
I like how, like, years ago,
He's,
we're like, oh man,
he's,
Stephen Moffat, stop, just stop Moffat. Somehow his replacement is just worse. Like, how do we manage to get worse than Stephen Moffat? Like, how do you manage that?
I think I think he's got a lot of strong political ideas he likes to put in the show, but he stopped hiding it with allegory or drama anymore. He just puts the message in without any thought of the plot do
Yeah,
about this.
yeah. And it's like I was saying to a friend of mine at church.
It's
It's like
really
because
obvious.
they were talking about the problems and like the obvious messages in these things are being like shoved down people. So it's like I don't mind these kind of political messages in my media, provided that the actual story, regardless of it, is still interesting and works off its own merits. If it doesn't, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a big mouthpiece anymore because
Yeah,
Doctor Who's viewing figures are like down to 1.5 million or something.
yeah.
Like the David Tennant used to be like 8 million every week and thereabouts. It's a huge drop off.
Because you'd think that nowadays the viewing numbers should be up because it should be easier than ever to watch Doctor Who, but no, they're down a lot. Like, how do you? But now I think they've stopped the deal
Yeah,
with
but
Disney, haven't they? And they're now moving to the Amazon rainforest. Is that right?
wouldn't be surprised if Disney wants to drop it. I think they were banking on Disney money to bail them out, and that just didn't happen because the writing's still rubbish.
Yeah. It's funny because I think part of the problem with the series is it's trying to appeal to Disneyness with the kind of like fantasy aspects to it and the musicality. And
Yeah,
it's like,
they brought in a god, a literal god,
oh,
the
several technically.
finale of last series.
It's like, but why?
There's been several. This one actually, now I think back,
Yeah, even the villains feel
and
Disneyfied
oh,
if you think about it. Even the villains feel like wouldn't be a miss in a Disney movie, especially the toy maker.
the musical episodes.
Yeah,
Oh, God, that was weird. That was a strange one. Because um, I don't know much about the original version of the guy, or versions. There could be more, but they brought him back and he played this. They got Neil Patrick Harris, who's a very famous gay man, which is not a problem. It's just everyone knows few things about Neil Patrick Harris.
mm.
Great performer, and they got him to play this ridiculously camp character with vaguely undefined like godlike powers.
Yeah, the toy maker. Yeah,
They
yeah,
used Yeah, they used like what's the song "Spice Up Your Life" by the Spice Girls, which if it really fits the scene, then I guess. But we're trying to think of it from like a modern perspective, right? Of what would the audience want? When was the last time you ever thought of the song Spice Up Your Life"?
You
I
know,
forgot it
I
existed.
don't think I've ever thought of Spice of Your Life, like ever. I don't know. I think that
Yeah,
Spice
it's
Girls was just a bit before my time.
yeah, that's more my point. It's like, yeah, I remember that, but I forgot it existed, and I was there roughly at the time. You don't even know it was a thing.
Yeah,
So, like, who is it really appealing to? It's a strange choice, which I'm not sure it has a home.
yeah. It's
I just
annoying
think
as
it's like
well
I
because
think Doctor Who's quite direct
I
now.
think actually the whole Toy Maker Master episode was probably one of the better ones. For the reason of, yes, he's kind of goofy and silly, but the idea of him being goofy and silly contrasting with his abilities was actually kind of scary because you got this idea of this, like, basically a psychopath with blatant disregard for human life going around. It's actually like this guy's unhinged.
Yeah, if they'd run it that way, I think it would have been really well received. Uh, that just I feel like the show as a general is very directionless.
Yeah.
Like, what is Doctor Who anymore? Like the
A lot
new
of people used to
like
say
everyone
Doctor the
who's heard of Doctor Who knows about
yeah,
Daleks
because
and
like I know a lot of
sorry,
people
carry
who
on.
say used to say Doctor Who isn't about the Doctor. I know this sounds really stupid, but hang on a second. Doctor Who is about the monsters. Like we want to see the monsters. Yes,
It
we like
is.
Doctor Who is just like the Doctor is just like the set dressing of like, okay, how's the Doctor gonna deal with this monster this time, and how what's gonna be the thing. That was always the premise of the show. With we on the
Yeah, you're kind of right. It was always
first,
like a Monster of the Week
yeah,
thing
yeah.
when it
It's
first
like,
rebooted.
but now like the monsters aren't really monstery anymore. They're always like, oh, ooh, we're subverting this trope, and ooh, here's this fun. Half of the monsters don't even take themselves seriously, let alone taking anything else seriously. So how can we take the show seriously? It's like
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty good summary.
Also,
It's
when
just
half of your enemies are basically quote unquote gods, where are the stakes? That's another thing. Where's the stakes? Half the time. Okay, someone's cat got
space
shot in
bugs.
one episode,
Yeah.
right? But like, where's the people?
Yeah.
And yeah, the toy maker did kill some people, but where's the? Even then, it didn't feel like there were massive stakes. The world wasn't in danger. It didn't feel like the world's in danger, like Day of the Daleks, when all the Daleks came down from the mothership and just started fucking shooting everyone and taking over. Like, where are the stakes?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Uh, I think the main problem with Doctor Who is yeah, you kind of yeah, the show is built on monsters, and the problem is a lot of the new monsters just aren't working. They're not memorable or really well liked.
Mm.
Like, okay, so what if you were to ask, like, let's hypothetically, there was a massive fan of Doctor who is who is like in Gen Z,
Mm.
and all they've known is more recent Doctor Who. They don't really have a good monster to really say, oh, I love that monster. That's really memorable.
It's
There's not
stupid
like
because I
there's the
bet you the
one
most
monster from
memorable
Jodie's
monster at the
Food
moment is the fucking
uh,
Duggadoo, and that's not
it's,
even like a monster, just like an alien that made
oh
a
god,
funny
the Doctor
song.
Who
That's it. Like, what do you? That's your most memorable
revision
moment.
episode. Yeah,
Basically brain rot. Their most memorable moment is brain rot. That's it. How?
yeah, and
Like I
it
like
was a strange. Yes, there's a
I like brain rot as much as the next idiot, because it is funny. But brain rot should be like relegated to stupid shit posts on YouTube and stuff, not within a TV show that is apparently trying to take itself seriously.
yeah. Leave brain rot to the Discord forums and bits. That's where brain rot should kind of stay.
Yeah,
Yes. If the show isn't dead already, it's on life support.
yeah.
What have I got to in general? Oh, what have you got for? Yeah, what have you got for the critical fumble?
So, well, I don't know if I should even blinking say it, to be honest.
Oh,
I
obvious.
well, I guess critical fumble this week is whoever broke into our LGS a couple days ago, because they're already they're on CCTV and everything, so they know who it is. Like, are you like? They also like completely broke down the window, so it's not even like how. Also, they broke into a window where the stairwell was, so I can't imagine that would have been fun to get through. It's just like, okay, so these must be some of the stupidest burglars of all time. Like, I could almost respect a burglary
Geniuses.
of my LGS if it was like actually semi-professionally done. Like, what do you? Who even does a smash and grab in this day and age? It's like, every third building has like 8 cameras. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I wonder if they caught them. No, they did. Didn't take long.
yeah. I don't know exactly, because again, like, I guess active police investigation, so they can't give away that many details, and etc., etc. But even so, I'm just like, yeah, that's a cut and dry, easy thing for the police to solve. It's like, this is not a difficult case. I do wonder if it has something
I
to
always
do with the new Pokemon set, because Pokemon scalpers and such are fucking insane. To the point where, like, I think some folk
I've
were, like,
always
staking out the new Pokemon vending machines and pretending to be other people to buy more product.
that is so weird.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like I like trading card games, but even I wouldn't go anywhere near that far for shiny cardboard rectangles.
I always had I thought that if you were going to be the kind of person to commit a crime, you would plan for the immediate aftermath, right?
Yeah,
And also operate on the idea that once you've committed the crime, there's going to be an investigation,
yep,
and you're probably going to get caught at some point. But apparently, that's not what some petty criminals do.
yeah. It's also a case of, like, if you show up to another local game store, either with a bunch of sealed product or a bunch of stuff, it's gonna look suspicious if you're, like, trying to, trade in a bunch of stuff after a shop has just been broken into, and it's kind of, it's on Facebook, etc. So people know that that store's been broken into. Because, local game stores definitely talk to each other, or at least the regulars talk to people.
Yeah, especially if they
Word
know
gets
exactly what
around.
stock is
Yeah,
missing.
so you ain't selling that shit within, like, I don't know, 30 fucking mile radius, really. Like, what are you doing? It's like,
eBay, maybe?
I guess, but, you know what eBay is
But
like
then
these
there's,
days.
surely there's some sort of.
Yeah. There must
Uh,
be an avenue where I guess they might be training for drugs or whatever. But then, if those sort of people are breaking into a local game store, they're probably not drug addicts. They're probably, like, scalpers and stuff. They're trying it for the money, I guess.
that's about right.
Because if you were just, like, a
There's a
drug
geek retreat
person, you'd
getting
just break into a place like a
security at
jewelry
the
store or
door.
whatever, rather than a place that does cards. But yeah, I think they got the
Like,
security
if you're going to
clearance,
commit
so...
a crime, make it a profitable one.
Yeah, it's like... Why... Like, if you're gonna break into somewhere to commit a crime, why would you waste your time with cards? Yes, card gaming stuff and, there's a market to it. But surely there is a better market for just straight up jewelry and gold and stuff. Surely.
They don't have like a like a Black Lotus in there or anything.
No,
So you know,
nowhere near anything like that, no. It's like... Plus, like,
don't imagine they've
jewelry...
released a name, have they?
No, I don't think they will, which I can kind of respect, to be honest.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, just idiots, I guess they'd probably be, if they were known to the store, if they came into the store to game normally, which I doubt, they're probably going to get banned, if that's the case. Can't imagine someone will be let in after robbing the place. Imagine trying to rock up to a Friday Night Magic with a deck made of cards that you stole from the very place that you're trying to F&M at. That would be really dumb. But yeah, it's a whole thing.
I'd love to keep track of that. Oh well.
And anything for a punt, I suppose. I'd imagine the joke in that conversation is the guy still somehow goes 0-3 in the tournament. Guy somehow still loses all his matches, even with a perfect deck made of stolen cards. Genius.
I think they should let him finish the tournament, then cuff him.
Then cuff him and say, sorry, you're
see.
picking up a DQ? Oh, what did I do? I didn't cheat or anything. No, but you did rob our store. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Hand over your DCI number, Saj.
Here's your prize for winning the tournament, but we're going to have to cuff you now.
I wouldn't even do that. I'd just disqualify him, to be honest. It's like, oh, you went 3-0? You managed to win all your matches? Yes, we're disqualifying you anyway. Fuck you. That's what you get from stealing from our store. You wasted our time, so we're going to waste yours.
Yeah, do the South Korean approach, where they just sort of leave you in suspense and don't let you leave.
Ah. Nah, if we're gonna go, if we're
Or
gonna,
they can get you on every single charge.
always do like the North Korean place. You just put you somewhere and then you just disappear from polite society forever. It's possible.
It's only if you have more than
That'd be
1,000.
unfortunate, wouldn't it? Nah, I'm kidding. Huh.
What's up next?
Oh, so next up we have miniature of the month stuff because you picked up minis. That's a good idea.
Oh boy, did I? Yes. It's going to have to be the Talons, isn't it? Yeah, the Desert Raiders.
Hmm.
Yes, they've been something that have been on my radar for a long time, but have always been so extortionately expensive.
Yeah.
I've never really committed to getting any till Saturday. When they were well, half off the usual price, which was still extortionate, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not gonna give horse in the mouth there.
yeah, it's like sometimes at one point you just have to kind of cut your losses and be like, fine, I'll cough up the dough, I'll cough up the goods.
It's the best I'm gonna get. Right, yeah, it's just I'll drop an image of them. They're not the paint job I've got. They've gone. The guy who sold them said, "Oh, we've knocked off 20 quid because it's not the desert color scheme." So whoever did that, thank you. That's pretty good. Saved me a lot of hassle there.
Hmm.
Um, this is what they normally look like anyway.
Yeah,
I think they're like
those?
1998, 1999. Very Lawrence of Arabia looking dudes, but with laser guns, so it's all fun.
Oh, there we go. It's loading the image. It's just give it a few seconds. Batman.
They're sort
Hmm.
of
Sorry, it's just loading the image.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll look at it later. But
Reminds
I
me of
take
like
your word for it.
the YouTube videos where the joke of
Huh? The joke of what?
those early Simpsons jokes
Oh,
where
yeah.
that comic book guy would be trying to look at something and it would just load line by line. That's the
Oh
magic going
yeah,
on
that
over
one episode. It is
where
on the
you're at
Homer
now.
does the internet thing. Yeah, I remember that. Yes, yeah. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, huh? Sometimes my internet confuses me.
Fair enough. No, they're nice and retro and my kind of thing, and they're so generic they'll probably play in other sci-fi games.
Hmm. Like
But
that
what?
one where you can rotate the
Uh,
board. The
I think we
dark
get.
symmetry. Oh dear. Thanks. Ah, Discord, what are you doing? Can't believe this. What have you done? Yeah, that connection problems. Let us know. You shut your stupid mouth, Discord. I look at an image once and the internet just goes, no. That's what I get for looking at images, I suppose.
There we are. I think
Yeah, I'm back. Hello.
whole JPEG.
Yeah, an entire JPEG broke me.
Okay, there we are.
But yes, what I have this week is
Yeah.
this is part 16 or series 16, I guess. Mobile Suit Ensemble GN Flag. I get that this isn't technically a miniature in the traditional sense, but I am liking Tiny Gunpla lately, and this
I
guy is
tapped it.
cool. He is very edgy looking, and I don't know, something almost very Star Wars about it. I don't
GN
know
flag.
if I
Oh, he
prefer
is.
these kind of quote-unquote bad guy mechs over stuff like the Zaku, but I feel like there have definitely been worse Gundam designs for the baddies, you know, over the years. And yeah, because you have GN Flag and there's Over Flag, which just has a different
Just have a
sword. I don't know why it's got like a big old like pipe or wire
Oh,
into
right,
his
right.
sword. I don't get why that is, but it looks cool. But the guy has like no head articulation, and I kind of feel sorry for him.
Oh,
His
cool.
mech
What's with the?
boobs are too big. It's restricting his head movement.
I'm just looking at the actual image of it, and he's got enormous, like, he's 80% leg.
Yeah, yeah, it's like weird looking legs. Got like this weird triangle thing going on the feet and knees as well. I
No,
don't
it does.
don't get what's up with that, but it's interesting. It's definitely something. It definitely looks unique. It's very
I
angular.
hope the pilot's really short.
Yeah. Is this? I don't know if this is from like
It's
when
overcompensating.
Char renamed himself to Full Frontal or what, but something about this screams Full Frontal. You know?
That this is a mech somebody calling himself full frontal would use. The thing he looks a bit weird because what I do know about Gundam anything, the stuff like the Zaku is mass-produced stuff,
Yeah.
so it's typically not that weird looking. And with the Gundams look bizarre because they're just like one-off projects for one person.
Yeah, they look very samurai-esque kind of thing. It's like, yeah, because they're specific for one person.
What the
They're
funny,
very specialized. I do, even though like the flag and the other one do look slightly more Gundam-esque compared to other quote-unquote bad guy Gundams, I do also get the feeling you could kind of see them as something a bit more mass-produced. Not necessarily to the level of Zaku's, but at least like, you know, squads I could see being a thing. Especially since they seem to be very melee-based.
yeah, this is quite funny as well because the original like rival like Shah didn't actually get a Gundam until like the newest series, which is like a what if.
Hmm.
So you just yeah, Shah was making do with just a Zaku 2. It's just like it's a really cool looking Zaku 2, but it wasn't a super vehicle.
Yeah, I don't get the new Gundam stuff, where it's like, is it like schoolgirls or something in mechs? I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like,
There's a lot of Gundams, like 50 years of it,
yeah,
and
like, what's the
don't really
other
follow
one?
on to each other.
It's not Endless Zero. What is it fucking called? But there's like a few other mecha anime that's like, okay, yeah,
Just
this
well,
is just women, and it's like, okay, but why did Gundam have to go down that route? Infinite.
yeah, they appeal to what people like, and Gundam's never fallen out of favor with the core audience. Which is very impressive considering how many different versions of Gundam they've released.
Hmm. And
You know, it does remind me of actually. I was going to find. Also, carry on.
And I also kind of like the Gundam anime, which is literally like custom robo style, the actual playing with Gunpla in an arena. It's like
Yes,
yes, and it feels like a card game
I know
anime
the one.
kind of thing. It's like yes.
This just remind me of theirs regarding like anime girls slash whatever age they're supposed to be, and Gundam. There is an old mecha fighting game I used to play like on the early Windows called Virtual On.
Right.
Sega made it. The soundtrack's phenomenally really good. One of the most popular mechs in it is literally wearing like a schoolgirl getup almost. It's really funny.
Oh no.
It's very funny. I have to just drop a few images of it. Well, that's the one they have done a few. There are three of the games. They've messed with the design a bit, but the first one I think was the original version they went with.
Oh,
She literally fired hearts as one of her weapons called heart shaped lasers. There we are.
heart-shaped lasers. Heart-shaped lasers. That sounds something that you would see in what's it, BlazBlue or something. Something very
Yeah, you're not.
crazy.
You're not wrong.
Which would make sense because, like, I can imagine that game probably had a bunch of freaking cutscenes as well. It's just,
No, it was
oh,
very much like those fighting games. It was like you win, next
oh,
stage, go.
wow. BlazBlue could learn something from that game
The
then.
music was a bit amazing though. It's just like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, it's very to the point. The music was like really catchy. So I
I
would
do
like
like
to
good music. I'll
somehow
have
get
to
that
give it
to
a
run
look
again.
see. So,
It's very like. Sorry, carry
no,
on.
it's fine. Carry on.
And I was just gonna say it's very like sounds like anime of the time.
Hmm.
It's like mid late 90s, 2000s.
Ah,
That era, it fits the vibe.
yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking of trying for another one of this set. So in this set, there's also High V Gundam and Gundam Kyrios, which also look kind of cool. Like High V looks like it has an absolutely massive shield, like humongous and bulky, which looks cool. And also just a big gun. I like a big gun. And Kyrios is actually very yellow and
Big
orange,
guns.
which is I feel like yellow and orange are unusual colors for a Gundam.
Ooh.
There's not even a single bit of blue on it.
Oh, the crest is usually yellow on
Ah,
the crest is usually yellow on a Gundam. It's usually always the little head, the helmet piece.
hmm. Yeah, this guy's got like orange
It's
bits
almost
instead of
orange.
blue. Orange. My boy is orange.
And just look at the wiki for this guy. Um, Pilot's name is amazing. No H on this. Alleluia Haptism.
What? Fucking what?
I know it's great.
I also dread at some point getting a weapon set. Not because I don't like the weapon sets, but it's like, are the weapon sets for, because like specifically high V in this case, or is there like a few weapons for each one? I get maybe the trident is for Kyrios, and some of the other ones are for the other ones. I don't know. I wish I knew more about Gundam to understand what the weapon set is actually for. If it's just for a specific one or for all of them in the other set. Anyway, enough about Gunpla for now, and Gashapon in general. Our next section is, of course, our long-awaited Homebrew of the Week. And this week's theme
Yes, we
was Dragon
did.
Slayer.
Yes, I've the route I've gone with this week. I've just done the one. It was man as a entry for. Uh, imagine like to like the people that imagine to make the dragon hunting possible.
Uh-huh.
So I like the idea that dragon slaying is a really difficult business
Yep.
because it's just really hard to find the damn thing and then set up a way to kill it. So I like to imagine it's sort of like the old the idea of knights where actual dragon slayers have a sort of they get all the glory for it.
Yeah.
But these like dragon trappers, the actual like they almost do squire work for them.
Nice.
So they do actually all the scouting, or most of the scouting, and making traps and getting odd plants and herbs for potions and things. So they do all the dirty work before the actual dragon slayers do their heroic thing.
Yeah.
I imagine they're sort of like they're very well paid peasants, but they're effectively like the peasant underclass of the dragon slaying industry.
Mm-hmm.
So that they sort of get training. They're not terrible at fighting, but they fight with tools rather than actual like axes and hammers, stuff you'd use to actually do other things with.
Yeah.
They're not because they're not also not noble. Why would they be given anything like proper and fancy? Um, So they are carrying like a lot of stuff. Like didn't use much, but I imagine they would use shovels and pythons and like all the adventurers kit that you don't really see a lot used.
Hmm.
Uh, but the fun part comes in with them is I did it a sort of modular approach with these guys. So I've got like their basic gear, which if it looks like they don't have a main weapon, it's because they have either a battle axe, warhammer, or a longbow and 20 arrows. It depends what they're doing.
Hmm.
And they can also have access to a potion of acid, cold, or fire resistance because they spend all day making these things and hunting dragons of certain types. So they're constantly carrying some sort of unusual potion on them. Actually, make sure they can get the job done. Yeah. That's put up this week. Just quite a quick one by comparison, but just it'll be funny to look at the other aspects of dragon hunting that aren't quite so pretty or attractive or particularly glorious.
Important business.
There we are. There we are. You're back.
I turned my microphone off while I was eating a biscuit and forgot to turn it back on again. It's
Oh.
a very British moment.
Oh. Ooh.
So, what I've got today.
It's a very British problem to have.
I made a weapon this time, another weapon, but this is more because I've never made an artifact weapon. But I thought dragon slaying, like there are so many dragon slayer type weapons from various different properties. I'll have a go at making my own. So this is like part serious and part funny. So this is Reynald's needle, which is a rapier, makes sense, of artifact rarity. So it's just a +1 weapon in terms of its thing, and it's otherwise a normal looking rapier, but it does have some effects. So it suffers no to hit penalty when making cold shots, because cold shots just doesn't happen often enough in D&D for my liking, and I feel like calling a shot against a dragon is a very Monster Hunter / Dragon Slayer thing to do, of go for the weak spot kind of thing. And rather than giving it a straight up +3, I was like, no, just make it not have a penalty against cold shots specifically. And then it has Pierce the Thyroid Sac. So if you attack a creature with a breath weapon with a cold shot at their weapon gland, which does mean you have to know where that is on that particular creature before you even call the shot that way, you crit on a 19 or 20. I was going to say, if you're a specifically champion fighter, I can't be asked for that whole, it might be an 18 if you're a specifically champion fighter. And maybe I should make it so a critical hit occurs on one less as well, maybe? Slight ruling thing. Anyway, when resolving a crit this way, do not double the damage as normal. Instead, the DM rolls the creature's breath weapon damage against itself and adds it to the total damage dealt, ignoring immunity for stuff like dragons. Because I know that the ancient tier just are straight up immune to their damage type. It's like, actually, if their own breath weapon gland explodes on them, that's gonna fucking hurt. Following this,
no, I can see the concept.
Yeah, following this, said creature cannot use its breath weapon until the breath weapon organ has been healed by a spell, such as Greater Restoration or Regenerate, because you've just exploded it. And I figured that's fair, because it only would ever occur on a crit. But it's it's a very Dragon Slayer-y thing of just hit the weak spot, idiot. Of course, that infers that you survived that long.
Yeah, I suppose if you get there, go ahead. It is a good idea though, because the cold shots are one of the things that really should be used more, but the rules make them really difficult to use.
Yeah, but I added. Here's the funny bit. So we added a little bit of a glossary entry for this. So, once fielded by a legendary fencer bard, this extremely thin moonglass rapier, so the elven metal kind of thing, was specifically designed to fight dragons. Unfortunately for its user, specifically living dragons, not those of the undead and skeletal variety that do not seem bothered by the fact they lack a gland to use their breath weapon with and merely breathe the elements anyway. It has to be said, of course, that Reynold was a man known for his witty remarks, seductive allure, and uncanny ability to run away from angry husbands, and not for his intelligence. Were it that he did research before hunting a dragon that turned out to be more bone than flesh, he might have survived and kept his weapon. Unfortunate for him, but perhaps fortunate for you. Just a little, like, context thing.
How small is the small print on this this entry there?
There's no small
print.
So
you use it and then you find out.
So basically, I guess like the implication is he fought something
when
like
you find out it doesn't work against undead.
Because the fine print is that basically, yeah, it has to have a breath weapon gland. Dracoliches are skeletal. They don't need their breath weapon gland to use a breath weapon.
And drakes don't have them?
Yeah, I don't think, because they're like skeletal, right?
Non-breath weapon dragons?
Yeah, and also non-breath weapon dragons. It's like, yeah, because that's, and also this also works on non-dragons that have a breath weapon. All 2 of them, unless you homebrew something else like a salamander or something. Actually, there are things like salamanders and certain snakes that have breath weapons, so to speak. If it's like spitting poison, so yeah. This also works on them. It just by proxy, I guess, because I guess it's like. It was designed for dragons, but the idea of something that targets, that's designed to pierce glands specifically, would work on things that aren't dragons.
You should make a weapon that works only on salamanders now, because that'd be really, really obscure and funny.
Oh, I don't even know how you would do that, but now I'm tempted to just come up with something. Looking at what salamanders do and just doing something specifically designed to counter them. Just more and more obscure as the weaponry goes on. So, here's a weapon designed to fight salamanders. It cools certain parts of the salamanders so they can't use their ability. This one's for shambling mounds. It makes them... It prunes them. Etc, etc. Magical gardening shears specifically for shambling mounds. That's gotta be in some obscure D&D book somewhere. Yeah.
Made by one guy who really hates salamanders.
Yeah. It's like, this deals extra cold damage, but only to salamanders.
There's no cold damage to non-salamanders.
Non-cold damage to non-salamanders. But yes, that's my homebrew of the week. It'll be available in the Discord as per usual, sooner rather than later, so enjoy that, all of you dragon hunting individuals.
Oh, yes. Right, I'll just get the wheel up. We should probably give it a spin.
Spin that wheel!
You know the best part about it? Have a guess at what type of file type do you think comes under in my actual document?
GIF, maybe?
Oh, wheel file.
Just straight up wheel file. Amazing.
It is just wheel file.
Rotation file. Amazing.
That sounds like a Guilty Gear name.
Rotation file, yeah.
Rotation file.
My file, it rotates.
Wait, hold up, no. Okay, so left on the wheel. First, I went here last week. Got Lovecraft. It is in HP Lovecraft. Criminal Activity. It's spinning. Underrated video game. Foreign Myth and Cold Monster. That's appropriate. In that wheel.
Spin.
Criminal activity is the next
Ooh,
week's theme.
interesting.
That can be anything. Could be the criminal. Could be you like making gear, so criminal gear
Mm-hmm.
stuff you'd use to commit crime. Our possibilities are almost endless. Yes,
As long
so
as
look
it's
out for that next
illegal and
week. Do you have
criminal,
any other
you're kind of good.
criminal law? Is you must be illegal. Think about it too much.
There we go. So, on that bunker buster shell, I think we're kind of done with this week's cast. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope all of you that went had a lovely UK Games Expo, and we'll see you in the next volume of this podcast.
Yeah. See you next time.
See you next Goose. See you same Byzantian time, same Byzantian channel. See you soon. Play him out, keyboard cat. Man, that's an old meme. Right.
Let's go back a bit.
Yeah. Right. See you all soon.